this is the notes for 2.3 slope. Okay, slope is also known as the rate of change. As we said before, it is defined as the change in y over the change in x. Now, when you're calculating slope, if you get 0 on the bottom of your fraction, it is undefined. If you get 0 on the top of your fraction, it is equal to 0. Okay, so question 1, you're given a graph and you're asked to find the slope. Okay, if you're given a graph, you can actually do a shortcut method of connecting your 2 points and forming a right triangle. So from here up to this point, we go from -4 to 4, which means we changed by 8. And then from here to here, we went from -1 to 3, which means we changed by 4. Okay, so at this point, we can put together our slope, which is the change in our y, which is a positive 8, over the change in our x, which is a positive 4. Okay, now, 8 over 4 will reduce to 2, so our slope is 2. Question 2, you're given 2 points, and you're asked to solve for the slope. So again, the slope is the change in y over your change in x. So in this case, we have 8 minus a -7 over 3 minus 7. So now we just do the basic calculation. Okay, so 8 minus -7, we know minus is the same thing as plus, so that'll give us 15. 3 minus 7 gives us -4. Okay, we see if this will reduce, which it won't, but we don't want to leave the negative on the bottom, so we move it out to the side to get -15 over 4. Okay, question 3 is very similar, but notice that at the very beginning, we have change y over change in x, so we'd have -4 minus -4 over -4 minus 2. So here, -4 minus -4 gives me 0. Okay, so since I have 0 on the top, I don't even need to bother calculating my bottom. I know that it is going to be 0. Question 2, again, change in y over change in x. So I have 3 minus a -5 over 4 minus 4. So on the top, 3 minus -5 is a positive 8. On the bottom, 4 minus 4 is 0. So 0 on the bottom of my thing is undefined. Question 4 says find the slope and the y-intercept of line. Write your answer in simplest form. Okay, so again, the easiest way to do this is to rearrange it. So I subtract the 8x over. Alright, so I get 4y equals -8x minus 4. From here, since I got a 4 on my y, I divide all 3 pieces rather, by the 4. This will give me y equals -2x minus 1. Question 5, we're given a graph, and we're asked to answer some basic questions from our graph. It says, what is the amount of candy in the container at 0 minutes? So if we look at our graph, at 0 minutes, our line line is hitting the y-axis at 60, so our amount of candy is 60. Question B asks what statement best describes the graph. Okay, if we look at our graph, we can tell that it's clearly increasing. So that's the first part. We know that as it increases, the amount of candy also increases. The second part says pounds per minute. Here, they're looking for our slope. So again, if we go back to our graph, and we kind of look here like we did in question 1, here we go from 60 to 100, so that means our y is changing by 40. We go from 0 to 1 minute, so our slope again is change in y over change in x, so we get 40 over 1, which is of course 40. Therefore, our second part of our answer here is that it changes at 40 pounds per minute. Question 6. We're given a set of data, and then we have a couple of questions. Question A says, find the average rate of change from 0 hours to 3.1 hours. Okay, so if we look at our data, t time, that's our x, n would be essentially our y. So if we're looking at 0 to 3.1 hours, we're looking at these two columns. So our change in y would be 1589 minus 1,000. Our change in x is 3.1 over 0. So if we do the calculation here, we get 589 over 3.1. Okay, so lastly, if we do 589 divided by 3.1, we will get an answer of 190. Question 2, or question B rather, says find it for 6.2 hours to 15.5 hours. So here's the 16.2 group, and here is the 15.5. We're going to do this essentially the same calculations. So our change in y, we have 6425 going to 2612. Our change in x is 15.5 and 6.2. So now if we do the quick calculation, all right, on the top we're going to get 3,813. On the bottom we will get 9.3. Okay, so at this point we just do top divided by bottom and we will get 410. So our answer to B would be 410. Okay, so that was the notes for 2.3 slope.